Just a minute. I've been moved to Omaha.
An inmate at the Douglas County Jail. To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press 1. To prevent calls from this facility, press... This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. For more information about our privacy policy, please visit www.connectnetwork.com. After the beep, press 5 to accept this call. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. Stay on the line to accept this call. Thank you for using GTL.
I don't consent to recording of my call. I apologize for bothering you on the 4th of July, Independence Day, as it were. But I got some mail from you today, and there was a letter that was quite disturbing, and I wanted to call you about it if I could.
Okay, yeah, I have a couple of things to tell you as well. Or you want me to get mine out of the way real quick?
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay, you sent a letter in, and I scanned it and mailed it to Dorothy, so that did happen. You probably are aware of which one it was. Also, this guy that I don't even want to mention his name because I can't stand to even mention his name, but he sent me an email and he attached some sort of PDF file. And here's what he said. He said, his motions are denied in full, though this is just a recommendation to the trial judge from the magistrate judge. It is rare they do not adopt them. This is bad for Parsons. He's looking at 8 to 10 years if he is convicted due to his prior record in calling the jury in this matter. The best advice you can give him is to plead guilty if you truly consider him your friend. And then he signs it via his traitorous signature, which I can't stand. So anyway, just wanted you to be aware of that.
Well, I don't know what this traitor guy is meaning by calling a jury. That's an idiotic statement. Nobody calls a jury.
Yeah.
And the fact is that he keeps pushing for people to plead guilty, which means that he's obviously working for the prosecution, because if he really cared about the public, he would want to make sure somebody went to prison for a long, long time that is as guilty as he seems to think that I am. The fact is, he's nothing but an evil, low-life vermin from the pit of hell liar.
Amen to that.
On his best day.
Amen.
This guy is pond scum in the worst degree. Now, he claims that he can get a transcript of this hearing of the failure to appear. What he needs to get, if he's got the guts to do it, I would tell you to get an audio and put it both on the internet, the transcript and the audio, and compare it, because what you'll find is that they have butchered the transcript, that it does not comport to what the audio is, and that when I ask every one of the state's witnesses, do you have an order for me to appear in court? No. The answer is no. So how could you be convicted of failure to appear when the law clearly says you had to have an order to appear in court, a lawful order that you failed to comply with? There was no order. That's the whole point. He dances around this like some slick attorney. He's a professional liar, and if he claims to be studying to be an A&P mechanic, he'll never make it, because there's no lying in that trade. I've got many of friends that are A&P mechanics, and they are not liars. They're all about truth and accuracy, and he is nothing of the kind. He is not truthful, nor is he accurate.
You know, Mike, if I could just interject real quick, there's a very popular documentary that just came out on the case of Darlie Routier. She was accused of stabbing both of her babies in Rowlett, Texas. What you're saying about doctoring the transcripts, that was exactly the case in her case. It's not surprising at all that you're saying they doctored the transcripts. That they do that all the time.
Well, here's the thing. This guy is stalking me while I'm locked up and basically unable to deal with this fraud. He hides behind a screen name. He threatens me. He basically threatens my wife. He insults me and my wife, and as well as Chief Justice Holland. He insults the entire Chilcotin nation and the sovereignty of that nation. He is He's relying on people's ignorance of what the truth is and their laziness to not look this stuff up. But if anybody, if what you sent me, the copy of that transcript, if he posted that, if anybody listening will review what he says and then go to those pages and look for it, you'll find it's not there. Plus, you'll find notations that Mrs. Parsons put in the margin of that transcript denying everything that he's saying. Just because some cop who got fired for planting evidence, Michael Green, wasn't there to testify, so they had the parole hearing read his report, that's hearsay. He ought to know that. He ought to be better than that. But he's a liar, so he's not going to acknowledge it. That's the problem with the guy. Now, if he will not expose his real name, at least expose the name of your attorney so that when I contact him, give me some kind of a way to let him know who you are so that when I can file my lawsuit against you, then we'll be able to do battle like real men, since you're too much of a coward to step out of your closet. Now, I never said you're a pedophile. I said what you're doing is supporting pedophiles, because I'm helping natives get their children back from the foster care system, which rank with pedophiles. And obviously you support those people, so you must be a supporter of pedophiles, because if you're opposing me, you're supporting the other side, which is the pedophiles. Now, someone made the comment that you might be homosexual because you're hiding in a closet. I don't know that. You know, I don't care about that. I just care that you are committing libel and slander. Now, it's one thing for you to say in here that it's not illegal for someone to insult you. No, insults are not. But posting false information that is willfully done with the intent of harming someone and tainting a jury, that's a crime. And, sir, you're a criminal. You're a fraud and a coward. You are no Marine. You're nothing like a Marine. You have no integrity. You're a scumbag. Now, he says that he fully knew well the kidnapping plot. Well, there was no plot, first of all. And second of all, I'm locked up for over a month while the indictments and the court orders for my release and the arrest warrants for those two people were issued. Just because you have a job as a judge and a sheriff for a corporation does not immune you from prosecution by a court. The fact is that under color of law, crimes committed by these people can get them put in prison. And an international warrant issued and served upon a law enforcement in this country, which is what they did, which is lawful. You ought to know that if you do your homework. But the thing is, you know it's lawful. You're just a liar, and you're going to spread false information to people who won't read the information. Now, you put in here little excerpts. I don't believe a word of it that you got in here. You claim these people that worked with my wife made these statements. I don't know this to be true, but I guarantee you I'm going to ask that Pat would provide some kind of a response to these statements to see if those were in fact true or not. I don't know if she even saw those. If she did, they're not true. I've never verbally abused anybody in my life, but maybe I'll make an exception to your case. All right? But otherwise, there is no mental distress. There is no manipulation. She's upset about the abuse by Tipton County government, who's been hounding me for the last 14 years because I dared to sue to expose a rigged election. Do your homework once again. You'll find out that I've never been in jail or anything until all of a sudden, when I sue to challenge this election, then we're attacked. And, even when the grand jury, when I was falsely accused for punching a guy in the nose, when somebody attacks me, I'll fight back. So, dude, you attack me, I will fight back, that whether it's in court or wherever. You attack my family, you got to fight. You want to fight? Bring it on. Step out of the closet that you hide yourself in behind a screen name, chump. I'm locked up in a jail. I don't have access to a computer. The fact is that you're a coward. I guarantee you that if you step out and give me your lawyer's name, I will contact him, and I will make sure that I file it properly. The lawsuit will be in your proper name, sent to your proper address, or to your attorney. Either way, that's fine. Makes me no difference. But what you've done is a crime, sir. You're a coward and a criminal. You're supporting other criminals. Now, the rest of this letter, It's pathetic. And again, anybody out there that's reading his nonsense, it's false information. He puts in here operative words. She seems to have told her coworkers. Well, there's no seeming to it. She didn't tell them anything except about the abuse by Tipton County. So Pat will get a copy of this, and she will have the ability to respond. Otherwise, in the number 6, he says, he fully had access to the house in question. That's not true. I didn't even have a key to the thing. When I travel, Mrs. Parsons has the only key. The house is in her control. That way she can have her guns there unlocked in the safe so she can easily access them in case some lowlife like you comes up and tries to mess with her, and she can blast you back into the pit of hell from which you came from, you lowlife coward. But regardless of that, the fact is that she has a right to bear arms, so does the rest of my family. And they do. So stay away from them.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
And he seems to think that they're going to talk about finding there's nothing in there about finding a rifle bag anywhere. That's not in there.
No,
the whole thing is, and please call the FAA, you moron, and tell them that this is a transport plane that's owned by another country being moved out of this country. And is it not a fact that you are supposed to cover up the N number because it's no longer registered in the United States? There is no registry required when you're not a U.S. citizen and it's going to another country, you moron.
Hey,
anyway, go ahead.
They're a pack of devilish hyenas. You nailed it on the head, and I pray that justice comes to them. I've got to go mow the yard, Mike, but we'll talk maybe tomorrow.
He wouldn't even speak out. He wouldn't even reach out to President Trump. You know, he says, well, I'll call the FAA. I don't need to call. No, call Trump and tell him what you're doing and see what happens then. Call the...
Thank you for using GTL.
All right, that was Mike Parsons in the time allotted. There is a group and a pack of devilish hyenas that seem to take great pleasure. They hide behind anonymous screen names in the destruction of Mike and Pat's life. And they seem to be obsessed with, every little detail and finding fault in every little word and, raising accusations. And it's upset Mike a great deal. Me personally, I don't have time to get into the details of this situation because I have too many other prisoners that need my attention. And so Mike can fight his own battles. I do pray that Mike gets his freedom soon. And I have no doubt that Mike will sweep the floor with the whole pack of devilish hyenas that have came against him. Take care. God bless.
To accept this call, press 0. To refuse this call, hang up or press. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. For more information about our privacy policy, please visit www.connectnetwork.com. After the beep, press 5 to accept this call. This call is from a corrections facility and is subject to monitoring, recording, and the location of your phone will be obtained. Stay on the line to accept this call. Thank you for using GTL.
Don't consent to recording of my call. Real quick, I'll ask if someone in the listening audience, one of my fellow patriots, has the ability to contact the FAA and ask them, when you're transporting a plane out of this country and you're working for another country, you're a citizen, you're a tribal member, whatever you want to call it, you're not from this country, is it not a requirement to cover up the N number? And what are the requirements other than just covering that up? And find out what they say. And if you can make a copy of that and somehow get it to Rudy, I'd greatly appreciate it. I hope that the traders posting the transcript again of that February 11, 2016 transcript, that's the one he's talking about, February 11, 2016. And if you will actually read it, he doesn't want you to read it. It's a complete denial of due process. That's what you'll find in that kangaroo court transcript. You'll see a complete denial of due process. And the degree that they will go to destroy an innocent man and hide the truth. So take a look at it and see the lies, and nothing but lies that this guy is perpetrating. He is a fraud. And notice that he only goes after people that are locked up. He hopes that Well, frankly, he thinks that you're probably too lazy to take the time to look it up and read it, or that you're incapable of understanding. I, for one, believe that anybody that reads it will see clearly that when I ask them, do I not have the right to question the state's witness? And they say no. Well, you know that the Constitution guarantees you the right to redress of grievances and the ability to ask questions of the people that are, complaining, and you have the right to face your accuser. Basically, was denied. My right to testify was denied. My right to call witnesses was denied. Read the notes my wife put in the margins. She was a witness to it. Those are her words, her notes. Also, God bless everyone out there. This is a tyranny that I don't wish upon my worst acquaintance. But there's a special place for people like Trader, and he needs to be exposed for what he is. As the Native Americans, we didn't lock people up in jails or prison. We would just turn our backs on them as the Amish, shunning them so that they have no help from us. When they come to us needing help, we remember the evil that they did. We turn our backs on them, and they go away. They need to go away. We don't need to support such evil in our company or in our midst. I pray that in this time of the celebration of our independence, that we will go out and make as much noise as possible so that the bureaucrats will realize we're still here, we're not going away, and we're going to take back what's rightfully ours, our land, our life, and our family, and all that's been taken from us. God bless.
Amen, Mike. Amen. Just real quick before we do hang up, and I do have to use my daylight hours to get the yard taken care of, but I wanted to share that prison is not biblical, so your comment on that I'm in total agreement with. There are certain punishments that are biblical, and prison is not one of the punishments that the Bible prescribes for anything. Also, this doctoring of transcripts, I just wanted to reemphasize that is a very common thing that we're seeing over and over again across multiple cases where the court reporter simply does not accurately record what is said in the courtroom. And then also, I don't know, have I ever mentioned Dr. Ken Hovind to you, who's known as Mr. Dino or fought evolution, debated evolutionist? You probably do. Have I ever mentioned Ken Hovind to you at all? Do you remember?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm very familiar with this case.
Okay. The same tribe of hyenas, the same devilish band of hyenas that attacked him, this appears to be the same tribe of devilish hyenas that are attacking you. So they're very obsessed with your destruction, and they're going to slander and make false accusations against you, which goes beyond just insults. And I hope they are held accountable, and I hope they do get what's coming to them. And I believe justice will come down like a mighty river. So we're praying for your soon freedom, Mike. And I know it's tough, but I pray that someone listening can help out and get the word out. And I pray to God more than I pray to man.
Well, I pray that people will do their homework, review this transcript, and review what he's posted in his letter to you, and then go back and let him know what a fraud and a liar he is, and then go to YouTube and other places and demand that they pull him down because he is he's stalking me and my wife and Sue Holland, and he's a criminal. He needs to be stopped.
Yeah.
And if he'll only expose himself, I'll file a lawsuit and get that started.
Well, I pray for your soon release so you can deal with the situation.
Thank you for using GTL.
All right, we ran out of time, and I got to take care of some things around the house. Take care.